Well, hey, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name, of course, is John Campea, and this is Open Mic. This is kind of like the John Campea Show, except a little bit more laid back and relaxed. And all we do here on Open Mic is take your live comments and questions. If you guys have a comment or question you'd like Rob and I to address on the show, simply use the Super Chat feature and fire it on in. I will let you know that the Super Chats are almost full already, so they're only going to be open for a few more minutes, and we will get through all of them here. I'm, of course, joined by Robert Meyer Burnett. What's this? You guys went out and did tacos?
Taco Tuesday, buddy. You can come whenever you want.
Yeah.
You don't like tacos?
I'm not big on tacos.
But we took Erin Cummings with us for her first Taco Tuesday.
And apparently Taylor ate 6 tacos today. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
6 tacos?
I did.
You get 2. They're small.
They're so good, though. Yeah, they're the little street tacos.
Oh, they're little
so
like
good.
bite-sized things?
Yeah.
I like it.
So good.
I like it. Well, we're going to get to your questions. Here's guys. But in just a second. Rob, I don't think you were here this morning when I brought this up earlier, before we started the show. You hadn't. I don't think you'd arrived yet. But I was reminded by a viewer earlier that it is the 3rd anniversary of my show, Movie Talk, being canceled.
Wow.
Over at Collider, what was Collider Video.
How dare they?
I know. Now it's been longer than 3 years since I left.
Right.
It's been about 5 years since but it was, 3 years that the announcement came through that they had canceled the show that I built, and left them in very good hands. And then they ran it into the ground, and then they ultimately canceled it. And, I remember when that happened, I remember some pessimistic people thought that I was I would be happy. How the place, to this day, it really bothers me. Because I had spent a lot of years from the day that I joined AMC. I had spent a lot of years putting a lot of work into that place. Sometimes, even putting my marriage on hold now and again because I needed to spend time working and developing that show and blah, 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 blah. And then, then hearing that it got canceled. Look, by the time they had canceled it, I remember when I left, we were pulling in about 100,000 views a day on Movie Talk.
Remember.
And we had an incredible lineup of people like Christian Harloff, Mark Ellis, Perry Nemiroff. John Schnepp was still with us at the time. Just an incredible lineup of people. I think within like 2 years, they had dwindled it to about 10,000 views a day. Yeah, it was real unfortunate. But again, and to this day, it hurts. I wish it was still out there. And thriving, doing its thing and all that kind of stuff. But 3 years, and It wasn't terrible. But you had left before that even happened.
Yeah.
Right? You had left before they had canceled all those things. But it was like, a very painful anniversary for me, actually.
That reminds me of a song, John, but that was 3 years ago when
Oh,
they
God.
used to have a show.
Ray is gonna. They've been singing this song.
Well, they.
Yeah, Ray has been singing this song.
Ray will not stop singing the Copacabana.
Friday. So, but
We have no more neighbors now. I just want to let y'all know that our windows, we're separated by a small wall, but I really think they could hear us on the other side.
And they've
Rob
gone.
just moved them all out. After
We saw the U-Hauls out there this morning.
Yeah.
They're moving out.
My karaoke song.
The
dude.
exterminator, Rob.
Come on now.
We'll call you the exterminator.
The Vacator.
The Vacator.
You need a place emptied out? Just get Rob singing karaoke of Lola. She was a
Copacabana.
girl.
Little Manilow, man. It's, you know what? There's nothing that cannot be fixed without with the proper application of Barry Manilow. You can fix anything.
That's true. I've heard that. All right.
Taylor's like, who?
What?
I've been listening to it, and it helps with the traffic.
Anyway, guys, what did we do? What we said we would do, which is take your questions. So let's start getting into that, shall we? All right, Rob, what do we got up here first?
Alex Von Gollum. I wonder if he is a Barry Manilow fan. Hi, Gio and Rob.
I'm pretty sure he's not.
Do you guys think we will see a direct connection with the Loki finale in Quantum Mania? Maybe Loki shows up?
Nope. I think, because of what we were talking about earlier today on the John Campea Show, like, look, as the franchise gets more and more convoluted, it's becoming harder and harder to have an entry point. But I still don't think Kevin Feige is going to set up a thing where it is a prerequisite that you have watched Loki in order to even understand what's happening here. I mean, you could still watch Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness having not seen WandaVision, and it'll make it all seem very sudden. Like, if you didn't watch WandaVision, Wanda's sudden turn feels very sudden, right?
Yeah.
But it's different if you have to have a direct connection to the end of Loki. I mean, obviously, we know that this is a succession of events. We know that for those of us who watched it, but I don't think they'll make it where if you didn't watch the Loki series, you're going to be completely lost. I don't think they're going to do that. What do you think?
Well, I think they might refer to the events only because, it's Kang. But he was He Who Remains in the Loki series, and then it's Kang there. There's got to be some kind of tie-ins to something. Wouldn't there be? I don't know.
I mean, some kind of tie-ins, yes, but like a direct.
Yeah, I don't know if it's
thing
going to be. That
yeah.
would be a little difficult to explain.
Yeah, that'll be
the
hard.
entire Loki show.
All right, what's next?
Love Daggerborn says, it's been quiet from J.J. Abrams for a while. Do you think his director career took a hit after The Rise of Skywalker? His film deal with Warner Brothers is gone, and he has no film project in development.
I actually don't think. I mean, look, whenever you have a project, that's a good picture, actually. I was there that night. Whenever you have a project that goes.
One of the stormtrooper outfits?
Yes, yeah, that was me.
Him and Daniel Craig, they're standing right next to each other.
Whenever you have a project that goes badly, of course, that never helps. It doesn't help to have a project go badly, especially like a high-profile one. But the fact of the matter is, that was still a movie that made over $1 billion. Not to mention the first one he did,
Right.
which I actually think was, as much as I think, the Rise of Skywalker was a shitty movie. I loved the first one he did. Like, I loved the Force Awakens, and that movie is still to this day. And you know what? I'll go out on a limb and say will always be the #1 domestic box office film of all time. So did it help? No, didn't help that the last guy, but we've seen for years, even before that, and before JJ took on the last, the Rise of Skywalker, that he was angling to get more just into producing. He had his production company up and running. So I honestly don't think it hurt him all that much, to be honest with you. I think he's focusing more on producing projects, getting a shingle set up somewhere. I don't know. What do you think, Rob?
I have heard something, and it pains me to even say this. He's probably going to direct the next Star Trek movie. With all of those changes and there's issues of script notes that he chimed in on, and Matt Shackman was going to direct the new Star Trek movie. That's not going to happen. You heard it here first, kids. J.J. Abrams is going to direct Star Trek 4.
Really?
That's what I've heard.
I know this is not what you want to hear. That would actually quite excite me because I actually like the Star Trek that he's directed. I actually quite like the Star Trek he directed.
I know, people, I know.
But I mean, it is what it is.
Hey, if you can't get any other job, why not go victimize the Star Trek franchise some more?
Dude, Star Trek was dead before he brought it back. I mean, it was literally dead.
I understand. I do. I do.
All right, what's next?
Disappointment. Amin says, what did you think of the Banshees of Inisherin? Is it better than 3 Billboards? Thinking of watching it this week. I watched it.
What did you think?
I liked it.
I loved it.
It was different than I thought it was going to be.
That's exactly what I said coming out of it. And, it's like I was not expecting that to be like that.
It's both humorous and dark.
See, the thing was, it was kind of marketed as a comedy, right? And after seeing Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell in Bruges, which is, if you haven't seen In Bruges, go watch Bruges. I was kind of expecting something like that, but it's heavier. And it's also very sad.
Yes.
But darkly funny at the same time. I mean, that's why it was in my top 10 list of the year.
Yeah, I thought it was a great movie.
Yeah.
It was.
But
really
is it better than 3 Billboards? I'll tell you what, here's the thing. I believe 3 Billboards is one of the most underrated Oscar-winning movies.
It's good.
Ever. I mean, it is such a great examination of the human condition of what pain does to people, even good people. What does pain do to people? If you haven't seen it, you must. So they're very different films. I don't know if I'm willing to say Banshees is better than Three Billboards. Or I don't know that I'm willing to say. It also won a couple of Oscars, won 2 acting Oscars. It's such a great movie.
It is.
All right, what's next?
Suthius says, we talked about the trope of the law official running from government. Another one that's sometimes annoying is the veteran who is wronged by said government, so they become a criminal or a terrorist.
That is another very, very used one. Now, here's the difference between the two tropes, though. The one of the former soldier wronged by the government, thus they turn evil or bad. I mean, all you got to do is think of The Rock.
I was going to say The Rock.
Yeah, The Rock is a great example of that, but it's been used a ton. The difference is the other trope is usually done with the main antagonist of an ongoing franchise or series. Like, if you watch any franchise or series where you have a government agent, main antagonist, or protagonist, I should say, main protagonist hero, either, what does it say? You either die the hero or live long enough to become the villain. Like that, if it lasts long enough, at some point, they're going to pull the card of, now they're on the run from their own government. We've seen it in everything. And that's why, even though I've really liked John Krasinski's Jack Ryan series through seasons 1 and season 2, particularly season 1, I have no interest in watching season 3 because I've seen this trope done too many times. I get annoyed by it. I just don't want to see it anymore. That's just
but I understand.
All right. What's next?
Murray Reich says, this message is dedicated.
By the way, Murray,
wow,
super chat in at $50. Thank you, Murray.
This message is dedicated to one of the best in the John Campea Show fan film community, Ben Rayner. I always loved seeing him contribute to the show. He was also a special friend who we've messaged time to time together about movies, etc. I will sorely miss him. Ben was also a supporter of my channel, supporter of other YouTube channels. He was really a really active, involved member of many communities, and he was always incredibly supportive.
Yeah, and he always had
really interesting stuff to say.
Either interesting things to say, interesting questions to raise for all of us to ask ourselves as well about movies. And he was just a great contributor of the fan community. And, Ben Rayner is the type of online fan community member that I wish more of us were like.
Yeah.
And he helped as a member of the community for fandom to be a fun, engaging, interactive place. And I was in Vegas when I first got a message saying that Ben had passed away, and we were really sad to hear about that.
Well, what's strange, I think what people don't know about us is that we also get attached to a lot of our fans.
Yeah.
And Ben was one of those people. Like, you look forward to seeing what he had to say or think, and when someone is missing, you feel it.
Kind of a fun story about Ben. So 2 years ago, maybe, I've had once in a while people who watch my show that sometimes contribute too much. And I start to worry sometimes. I've talked about this on the show before, that I start to worry sometimes that there are people who watch the show that are maybe sending in support money that they can't afford to send. And every once in a while, when I see that happening, I will reach out and whatever. And Ben was one of the people that I reached out to. I remember I reached out to Ben Rayner, who I didn't, obviously I've never met.
Right.
But I remember this is a couple of years ago, I reached out to Ben Rayner and I just said, hey, this is John writing. And I just want to say, I appreciate you supporting the community and all that kind of stuff. But, I just want to also encourage you. I want to make sure that while I appreciate the support, that you're not sending in so much that, you're not sending us money that you need to be spending elsewhere or blah, blah, blah. And I remember he wrote back to me, he said, no, believe me, it's all expendable. Any money I'm sending in is expendable income. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. And he had he continued to be like not just a great active member of the community, like financially he was a great supporter of the show as well. So he like valued our community enough that he actually wanted to be one of the people supporting it to keep it thriving. And he was just, it was just, again, the type of online film fan I wish more of us were like.
I completely agree.
All right. What's
He
next?
shall be missed. Thomas, one of two. Most anticipated, Barbie. Elemental, Cocaine Bear, Mario Brothers, Dune 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Oppenheimer, Across the Spider-Verse, and most importantly, the great films I don't expect. Every year I find some of the best movies to be the unexpected ones.
Well, I mean, I said that myself the other day that, you know, the ones I'm really looking forward to are the ones we haven't discovered. And by
Right.
discovered, I mean, we know most of the movies that are coming out this year, but by discovered, I mean the ones we're not really expecting a lot out of.
Like the Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah. Like who knew? I mean, that it looked fun. The trailers said that looks fun. I was not expecting it to be either the top or one of the top 2 or 3 best films of the year.
Yep.
And those are the ones I always look forward to stumbling across more. And you know what? I'm glad you brought up Barbie, because out of the 3 of us, only Chris Carr put Barbie on her most anticipated list. But I'll tell you what, I am getting more and more intrigued by that movie.
Me too.
I mean, that could be a lot of fun. I'm also looking forward to Megan this week.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that could be fun too. All right, what's next?
Orange Hand says, in The Lion King, do you think Simba actually talked to his dead father in the clouds, or could that have all just been in his head?
Well, here's the interesting thing. I love the fact that we are questioning the credulity about whether he's actually talking to his spirit father, while totally bypassing the question of the lion talking. So I personally believe, no, he was actually, I believe the spirit of his father actually came to him to speak to him and guide him in the story. I that's what I believe happened. Like earlier in the film, he talks about how he'll always be watching over that the stars in the sky are the kings of the past and blah, blah, blah. And this is him coming back to his son, not only to help his son, but to help the pride. Because the survival of the pride was on the line at that point. I think I have always interpreted that he actually spoke to Mufasa. What do you think?
Well, you realize that this movie actually does take place on the outskirts of Wakanda. And so he really is speaking to his father. It's the very edge of the ancestral plane, but you can get there. And because animals are more in touch with the natural order of things, you don't have to like eat a flower to get there.
Because if I'm not mistaken, I think the moment before this happens, there's a famous scene in Lion King, which they have since changed. But if you own one of the old VHS tapes, it's still there, where a depressed Simba, he's kind of on the edge of a cliff somewhere and he just flops himself down and a bunch of dirt and debris dust kick up into the air that eventually sails off to Rafiki, right? But when he first flops himself down, some of you guys might know about this, if not, go look it up yourself. When he flops himself down, as the dust and debris kick up as he flops himself down for like 2 frames, the animators put in a little thing where the dust and debris spelt out S-E-X, spelt out sex. They slipped that in there. And they since removed it, I think, in modern releases of it.
Those crazy animators.
Yeah, those nutty guys. I loved it. All right, what's next?
Culture Wars Diplomacy says, Jenna Ortega didn't care for the love triangle in Wednesday. I thought it was a good subversion of the trope. What's an actor's take on their own work you disagree with? Ooh, that's a good question.
Honestly, it happens more than you think.
Yeah.
I can't think of any off the top of my head any specific example of it, but there have been many times where I've heard an actor say, well, I think my character was this. And I'm thinking, that's nice. You're wrong. So, I mean, it actually happens a lot for me. And that's great. I mean, I don't see that as a bad thing. I see that as a good thing, because it means even actors who are approaching this role, they may be going to it with a mindset or whatever, but even they are just interpreting what was on the page and whatever. Right. And I actually kind of like it. Can you think of any specific example where you think about that?
Well, I hate to bring it up, but Star Trek Nemesis. You know, Patrick Stewart really wanted to have more action, so I believe it was him who suggested going off-roading in a truck. I don't agree with that.
It's one of the better scenes in the movie.
Yeah, but off-roading, you've got shuttles.
I know.
And you're driving. I mean, I was like, bro, come on, dude. I mean, I get it. You want to be an action hero, but a truck?
Well, it's probably less expensive way to go.
I know, but
Some other things
I
they could have
disagree.
done.
I disagree with his desire to go off-roading.
All right, what's next?
Guillaume Lebel says, Happy New Year, John and crew. Have you guys seen the Mickey Mouse fires Bob Chapek video by Warp Zone? It's hilarious and on point.
Yes,
No? Is
I
it
have.
good?
Oh, okay. So it starts with Bob Iger, an actor playing Bob Iger in the front seat of a car driving through
Oh, it's
the
like
desert.
live action.
Yeah. And if it's the same one I'm thinking of, and a Bob Chapek sitting in the back of the car, and Bob Chapek's going, "Oh, Bob, this is great. Bob and Bob going on a fishing trip. It's going to be awesome." And then Bob Iger in the front seat, "Yeah, it's going to be great." Only they get into the middle of the desert and he pulls him out of the car. Bob, what's going on? And Bob Iger's, "The boss wants to talk to you." And he opens up a laptop and it's Mickey. And basically lambasting Bob Chapek for all the ways that he ruined Disney. It's really quite good.
That sounds pretty good.
It's,
I gotta
yeah, you
watch
should
that.
check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Is this it?
Right.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one. It ends with Mickey saying, "Bob, do what you gotta do."
You know what it kind of reminds me of? In Star Trek Nemesis, they go off-roading. kind of similar.
This was actually the inspiration for the Mickey Mouse sketch.
Man, that is just ludicrous.
All right, what's next?
James Wheeler says, I'm sorry for this being late, but my top 10 of 2022 are 10, The Menu, 9, The Woman King, 8, Tar, 7, Top Gun, Maverick, 6, The Northman, 5, Belle, 4, Avatar, The Way of Water, 3, The Fablemans, 2, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and 1, Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah, I think every single one of those except for Belle, I had either on my top 10 list or in my honorable mentions. Like that's great. I really do hope I'm not going to be offended if it doesn't get a nomination. I hope The Menu gets a nomination for Best Picture. I mean, I'm not going to feel like it's snubbed if it doesn't, because it has no chance of winning Best Picture. But I mean, I would love to see it get that recognition, because that was one of those films that really surprised me this year. I was utterly delighted by that movie.
It dropped on HBO Max.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I got to sit down and watch it again.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Casey Mack says, looking forward to Into the Spider-Verse, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Mission Impossible 7, and even Dune 2. But there's one film I'm really looking forward to, and that is Renfield, which has Nicolas Cage as Dracula. I totally forgot about that.
I'd be lying to you if I said I was really excited about it. I'm not. Now, the one thing, though, is it's also got Nicholas Hoult in it.
Yeah.
And I love Nick Cage, but a Nick Cage movie today can mean many things.
Yeah.
Right? So
Is
I
he
don't
going
know.
to suck your blood?
Yeah,
How is he going to be as Dracula?
that's what I'm worried about. That's I am Dracula. Like I don't know. So now, because here's the other thing. They did that movie, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent,
Yeah.
right? And I was a little late to the party on that. Like I saw it a few days after, like a week after it opened. And I heard all these people talking about, "Oh my God, this is one of the best movies of the year, one of the best movies of the year." And I saw it, I'm like, this is charming,
Yeah.
but this isn't that good. I
No.
mean, I liked it. I enjoyed it. Especially the Paddington 2 references were great. It was a charming film. It was not this potential top 10 movie of the year that I thought some people, and by the way, I never saw it. With all the people saying this is a top 10 movie of the year, I didn't see it pop up on anybody's list.
No.
But, and so I'm always a little bit nervous. Are we going to get, when we go into a Nick Cage movie now, are we going to get Pig, which is awesome, or are we going to get, what was it? Jiu-Jitsu? What was one of these other 15 other movies he
Yeah.
does in a year that just to pay off his tax bills? I'm never quite sure. So I don't know what we're getting with this Renfield.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
All right, what's next?
Casey Mack goes on to say, overall, if I had to think of a good man to be Batman, the only man that comes to mind for me is Richard Madden, who was Jon Snow in Game of Thrones.
I've seen some people put him on their list. I don't see it. And I like John Madden very much.
Richard Madden.
Richard Madden, sorry. I like, but Richard Madden didn't play Jon Snow.
No,
Richard
he
Madden
played
the older brother,
Robb Stark.
Robb Stark. But the one I've seen people say is the one who played Jon Snow, which is, what's that actor's name?
Kit Harington.
Kit Harington. I've seen a number of people put Kit Harington on their list. I am a big Kit Harington
I am
fan.
too.
I don't know that I see him as Batman.
I don't think so.
I don't know that works.
I don't- yeah,
and
I
besides, he's got a future as the Black Knight in
Yes.
the MCU, so
Yes.
that's all good. All right, what's next?
Thomas sends in a super chat and says, in the UK, we don't get Pearl until March, 6 months after the US. Same for Tar, Babylon, Till, The Fablemans, The Whale. It's like we're back in the 90s.
That is, look, I understand why different markets get movies released at different times. I've never understood when there's a big gap like that, like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, hell, maybe even a month. But these things where like one major market gets it in February, one major market gets it in September. I don't understand that mentality.
It's weird.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to an actual film distributor about that sometime, and we'll see. All right, what's next?
Casey Mack says, got to see Puss in Boots 2 for the second time. Loved it even more the second time around. I swear the intro of the wolf in that movie just gave me chills every time he was on screen. Best Shrek villain, in my opinion.
Now, are we talking about The Last Wish?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, the wolf Ann and I went to go see Puss in Boots 2 last week. And I was very pleasantly surprised. Like, I thought the trailer was great.
Yeah.
But I still didn't have super high expectations for the movie itself. The movie is utterly delightful. It's not as good as Turning Red, but I mean, utterly wonderful. Just a wonderful film. And the wolf was a terrific villain for it. Especially once you get the little twist with the wolf, which I won't mention here. But I'll tell you, man, and something that the wolf says early in the film, later on in the film, Puss in Boots repeats back to the wolf. That creates one of the most awesome, worthy of Arnold in the late 80s, early 90s one-liner in an action film ever. And it's kind of a throwaway one-liner that the wolf says early, and then Puss in Boots repeats it back to him later in the film. That's like, like that's straight out of a Stallone or a Schwarzenegger 80. It's a great moment. I love it. Yeah, it's a great film. Great film. All right.
I look forward to seeing it.
You should. You and Elizabeth got to go watch it. I think you'll have a really good time.
Should like it too. We're cat people.
I am not. I am not. All right, what's next?
Josh Becker says, I watched A Man Called Otto. It was okay. Tom Hanks gave a pretty good performance, but it's nothing special. Next up, Megan.
Unfortunately, I have heard.
This is so creepy, dude.
Yeah, that is very creepy.
And that's Jason Blum.
Yeah, that's Jason Blum in the middle.
right in the which is great. I have not heard great things about A Man Called Otto. It's a remake of A Man Called... trying to remember the original European name of it. But at any rate, I've heard that Tom Hanks is very good in it, but the movie itself is not so good. I mean, it's Tom Hanks, so Ann and I are going to see it, but it hasn't opened yet, has it?
I think it's on Apple Plus.
Are you talking about A Man Called Otto?
Yeah.
It had a very limited release during Christmas. Like
okay,
Christmas
got
Day.
a limited release during Christmas. Yeah, so we haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I definitely will because it's Tom Hanks, but I've not heard the best things about it yet. All right, what's next?
It's Casey Mack. My mistake. Richard Madden was Rob Stark, not John.
Yeah, so I don't know if you mean Richard Madden or if you mean Kit Harington, but I mean, I mean Richard Madden, maybe.
I could see.
I could
that.
certainly see Richard Madden more than Kit Harington.
Yeah, I can too.
It's still not high on my list, but if they were to announce him as Batman, I'd go, all right, I'll give
I
that
could
a
see
shot.
Richard Madden more as James Bond.
Well, that's because we saw him kind of in a similar role.
Yeah,
he would be
great.
a great James Bond too. All right, what's next?
Josh Becker says there's another Regal mystery movie on Monday. I think it's Missing because that's the only PG-13 movie coming anytime soon.
Well, here's what the pattern has been. The pattern has been they've been showing Apple. The last two Regal mystery movies have been Apple Plus movies.
Wait, is this a sequel to Searching?
Yes, it is. It's a spiritual sequel to Searching. Yes.
Really?
Yeah,
I
by
like
the same
Searching.
producer. I did too, very much with John Cho, and this is the girl from.
Is
Oprah
it from A
was in
Wrinkle
it.
in Time?
A Wrinkle in Time, yes, the one with Oprah. She was great. Storm, is her name Stormy or
Storm Reed, I believe.
Storm Reed? Yeah, she's a wonderful young actress,
Yeah.
by the way. She's really good. But I have a feeling it's probably A Man Called Otto. If it is an Apple Plus film, that's what the last couple of the Regal secret screenings have been.
Right.
So
By the
Yeah.
way, there is a movie that I keep meaning to mention on the show that comes out this month that I cannot wait to see because our boy Cliff Stevenson told us about it. Plane.
Oh yeah, with
Gerard Butler.
Yeah, with Gerard Butler. Yeah.
Cliff said it's awesome.
Well, Cliff worked on that.
Yeah,
right?
he did the documentary stuff. He said but the movie he said was great. And I'll watch Gerard Butler do anything where he's kicking ass or whatever. I mean, but I mean, how many people are going to get excited to go see a movie called Plane?
Yeah, it's not a good title, but I'm going to go see this movie.
I'm going to go see
it.
It
Looks like it looks like just a lot of dumb fun. I can't wait
to see it.
All right, what's next?
Bring it on. Josh Becker goes on to say, I rewatched The Batman today, and I can't believe Paul Dano plays a psychopath and then a loving dad in The Fablemans. That's range, man.
I'll tell you what. I have been saying this since There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
The only reason Paul Dano is not on everybody's radar is because he happened to be in that movie with the greatest actor of all time, in Daniel Day-Lewis, who happened to turn in what I consider to be the single greatest performance in any movie ever.
I'm an oil man.
Yeah, I think that I stand by that. I think that is the single greatest performance by an actor or actress in any movie ever.
He's awesome in
and
it
the
too.
problem is Paul Dano, regardless of the fact that he turned in an Academy level performance, is totally overshadowed. And nobody really thinks about or remembers. But Paul Dano has done nothing but turn in world-class performance after world-class performance after world-class performance in his career. And it took him being in a Batman movie for people to finally sit up and start to take notice. And by the way, he is fabulous in the Fablemans.
Yep.
He is so good in the Fablemans. And I'm hoping after this year, more people will put a little bit more respect on Paul Dano.
He's always been great.
Oh, he's so good. You know what? He doesn't have the classic movie star look.
Right, exactly.
He's got the guy who you pay for your cigarettes kind of look. He doesn't have the classic movie star look, but he's so good.
He's so good.
Oh.
And you know what? He's the boyfriend. Oh, God, I heard. Now I'm drawing a blank. His girlfriend is also a famous actress.
Oh, I have
heard,
no idea who they date.
Zoe Kazan.
Yes.
Kazan?
I don't know who that is.
Zoe Kazan, who was in She Said.
Oh, her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Their boyfriend, girlfriend.
I did not realize that.
At least they were back in the. Yeah,
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
But by the way, She Said, wonderful movie that nobody saw.
Nobody saw.
Anyway, all right. What's next?
Murray Reich says tickets to Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey are now on sale. But I wonder why they're only playing it for one night only. Showtime only at 7 p.m. everywhere.
Well, we talked about that, right? Like this was like last month. We talked about that. It's going to be a one night only in theaters.
Taylor's gonna
does
visit
Taylor have
I
his?
am so excited for this damn movie.
But do you have your tickets yet?
I don't have my tickets yet, but I'm a little nervous. If Winnie the Pooh doesn't have his sawed-off shotgun that he is known for, I'm going to be very disappointed. But I'm going to get my tickets. Perfect for Valentine's Day. I cannot wait for this movie. It's going to be so much fun.
I'm excited to see how awful it's going to be.
I just can't wait to watch Taylor's take when he leaves the theater.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to be very, very drunk.
Video.
All right, what's next?
You should bring a gun with you. No, maybe not.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Josh
Not a good
Becker.
idea.
That was a joke, people. Just a joke. Josh Becker says Regal said it's from a major studio this time.
What are we talking about? Oh,
secret
for the
movie.
secret movie. Oh, then maybe it is something else. I mean, it wouldn't be Megan.
Plane.
I can't wait for something else.
Maybe it's Plane.
Could be Plane.
It would have to be something that's opening up very soon.
I think Plane opens in 2 weeks.
So, I mean, Plane would be one that would. I mean, I went to one hoping it was going to be like some major film, and it ended up being the greatest beer run ever.
Right.
And it was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do this again. That was a total waste. So, who knows? Okay, good to know that's from a major studio. But Apple, couldn't you consider Apple a major studio? We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what it turns out being. All right, what's next?
Josh Becker says, I finally started reading Dune. I want to get it done before the best movie of 2023 comes out, Dune Part 2. We all know will be epic. Well, Josh, you should read all 6 of Frank Herbert's Dune books. Dune, Dune Messiah, Children of Dune, God Emperor of Dune, Heretics of Dune, and Chapter House Dune. Read all 6. The other ones are not canon.
All right. And listen, guys, before we continue on, and we will continue on here in just a moment, we're going to take a quick second here and thank the sponsor of today's video, our main sponsor here at the John Campea YouTube channel, our friends over at Mint Mobile. Guys, we want to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. This holiday season, the best deal in wireless can only be found at Mint Mobile. Right now, when you switch to Mint Mobile and buy any 3-month plan, you get another 3 months for free. Mint Mobile lets you order and activate from home with eSIM while saving tons on phone plans starting at just $15 a month. You guys know I've been using Mint Mobile long before this holiday deal, and I have to say it is the perfect time to switch. I have absolutely loved using Mint Mobile, and like I've told you guys many times, I am now spending less than 1/3 of what I used to spend under one of the other major mobile carriers. And now with the whole buy 3 months, get 3 months free deal, it's even better. All of their plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and switch easily and effortlessly with eSIM. Or if you need a new device, for a limited time, get 6 months of free service when you buy a select device and plan. So guys, for a limited time, buy any 3-month Mint Mobile plan and get 3 more months for free by going to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. And thank you to Ryan Reynolds and Mint Mobile for being a sponsor of the John Campea Show. Let's not repeat what was said off air. Ray's going to get me in trouble one day. So much trouble. All right, let's keep on rolling here, shall we? Okay. What is next?
John Stubble McShave, all the way from Sweden, says, happy 30th anniversary to Star Trek Deep Space Nine. It's my favorite Star Trek show. That is today, John.
Yep. Yeah, I saw both you and our buddy Scott.
Scott Mance?
Yep. Saying Star Trek.
Why do you got to do that? Why do you got to do that? Robin there? Well, Deep Space Nine is much better than Insurrection.
They're all the same.
I mean, Nemesis.
They're all the same.
I like Deep Space Nine. I did.
Deep Space Nine's the best.
All right.
I love it.
What's next?
Just a Sub 32 says, hey, John and Rob, really liking the open mic where you guys play Mario Kart. I would love to see you guys, Chris and Rob, play Mario Party. That would be totally awesome.
Yeah, it's funny because Ann and I played Mario Party the other night with some friends. We will definitely do Mario Party. We're definitely going to do Mario Party. We'll have either Chris or Aaron or Ray jump in. We'll play some Mario Party. That'd be great. What was the game we're getting today?
Go ahead, Tom. You know
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Yeah, so we're getting Marvel Ultimate. We started to download Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 today, but then we realized the Switch ran out of room. So I had to order like a 1 terabyte SD card to put in there. So you might see us playing either a little Mario Party tomorrow, maybe a little bit of Marvel tomorrow.
Yep.
Should be a lot of fun.
I want Moon Knight.
Oh, I'm Blade.
First dibs on Moon Knight.
Is Moon Knight a character in it?
I think
Yeah.
Oh, well, Rob. Well, now we know what Rob's going to do.
Moon Knight.
Blade.
All right. What's next? Morbius.
Stubble McShave sends in another super chat and says, I think Ben Barnes could make a good older Batman.
How old is Ben Barnes? Ray, can you look that up? Okay, first of all, you got to understand. I think Ben Barnes.
41.
He's 41? Mm-hmm. Forget it. He could be Batman. Seriously, I said this before, maybe about a year or two ago, because he's had that fantasy series on Netflix, Something in Bone. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
It's based on the novel series.
Yeah.
Bone and Sales, or Who's Got the Bone, or I guess Shadow and Bone. That's what it's called. Late Night Alum is the front. Let us know. Shadow and Bone.
My mind
Who's Got the Bone? Shadow and Bone. And I didn't love Shadow and Bone. It's interesting though. But Ben Barnes, again, whenever Ben Barnes is in something, whether it's something like that, whether it's in Punisher, he was great in John Bernthal's Punisher series. I loved him. This guy is world class. He is absolutely world class. And for the life of me, he's one of these guys who this is not the best picture of him, but he's one of these guys who is just so good looking that I think it actually hurts his career a bit.
Yeah.
Because I think he's so good looking that people just don't take him seriously as an actor sometimes.
Wasn't he Prince Caspian?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
But he's done darker roles. Like he is fabulous, and I think he
Yeah.
would be great. That was him younger.
Yeah,
But
he's a very handsome man.
He's a terrific actor, though, and I really think he should be bigger than he is these days. Anyway, that's just me. All right, what's next?
Stub McShave.
Oh, he's great in Westworld, too, yeah.
Al Renshaw says, still waiting for my Ahsoka premium format figure. Should I pre-order the Mando one as well? Wallet says no, but my kid heart and inner nerd say yes. Al, the answer is always yes. Order them. He's the only guy who gets second thoughts and doesn't do
Okay,
it.
that came to you from the guy who just asked me for an advance on his paycheck so he could get something. So the answer
Wait,
is
I was
often
gonna buy
sometimes
stock.
no.
I was gonna buy
sometimes the answer is no. It depends
What is
on if
it,
you got
Cineworld?
Cineworld.
I think
You-
I'm going to go take some money out of my
it would be
ATM.
cheaper for you to buy Cineworld than it would be to maintain your hot toy collection.
I got a question, Rob. I got a question. That's Hot Toys, right? Premium format.
Well, it's Sideshow.
Oh,
That's their
Sideshow.
premium format.
So I guess that's the difference. Then I was going to ask you what the difference between a premium format figure is.
A premium format's usually a statue quarter scale.
Oh, it doesn't move at all.
Well, sometimes
I
there's
do.
some
Would
articulation.
this be considered a
Yes, that's a premium format.
Our Deadpool
Yeah.
on the desk here is
Yeah.
a premium format.
And that is
I love this
That
Deadpool.
is a dope statue.
Yeah,
I
I
mean
love
that's
this
a
Deadpool.
great. The sculpting on that's a great statue.
And you guys can't see it on the you can't see it from here, but on his belt buckle, he's got a cable doll,
Yeah,
which is kind of awesome.
like the Jim Lee version of Cable too. It's great. That's a really great.
Yeah, I love that figure, man. All right, what's next?
John Redcorn says over or under 35% Tyrese or Ludacris die in Fast X. You shut your mouth. Don't say
Zero. Zero. They don't kill anybody.
They-
And when they do, they bring them back. It's like a Marvel fake death universe in there. And
True.
like I don't know, like somebody could literally here's the thing. Everybody knows I am to a fault, a massive Vin Diesel fanboy. I love Vin Diesel. The one area that I go, oh Vin, what are you doing sometimes? Is how overpowered Dom Toretto is. They totally OP him. He's totally over. Like it's always been that way. He is literally a grease monkey. He's a guy who fixes cars. But all of a sudden, he's a world elite espionage warrior that you get these combat specials. Doesn't matter. Give him a lug wrench, man. He'll take out anybody. To the point that in Fast 9, they literally Samson and Delilah his ass by literally pulling a roof down by a couple of change. And I'm telling you right now, even if they had one of these characters die in this movie, Dominic Toretto would just stand over him and say, family! And Dominic Toretto would raise the dead. Because that's just how overpowered he is.
You know what's going to happen in this next Fast? They're going to crash into like a UFC event. Dom's going to get out of the car and he's going to win the heavyweight title right there. I don't know, man. He's open.
That's after he survived the moon fall.
Right after he survives the moonfall. All right, what's next?
This is a tough one. In Lytton?
Sure.
Hola, John Campea crew. New member here.
Hey, good
Thanks
to
for
have
being a
you.
member. Your generous aid to that struggling family sold me. Curious of your thoughts on Megalopolis remake, particularly Rob's. Well, Megalopolis is Coppola's new movie that he sold his vineyard to make enough money to. I hear the shoot is not going as well as hoped.
Oh, I have not heard anything about
there's
it.
a friend of mine who works in the industry said that there's been a lot of turnover, a lot of turmoil on that set. I hope, but Coppola's no stranger to that. If you watch Hearts of Darkness, Making Apocalypse Now,
Or go and watch The Offer
oh, yeah,
on Paramount Plus. I mean, this is something hey man, that's just another day for
Day at the
Coppola.
office. But this time he's paying for it himself.
Yeah, so the stakes get a little bit higher
I
now.
guess he paid for Apocalypse Now too.
All right, what's next?
Ryan Lohner says, I just saw one of Aaron's roles that deserves to be talked about more. The Madoff
series.
miniseries.
She's great
She and
in
Richard
that.
Dreyfuss are electric together.
Yeah.
Was she Bernie Madoff's wife?
No, she played his assistant.
Wow. I didn't realize that was her. I love that miniseries.
Yeah, listen, Aaron, as much fun as we have, again, I've been friends with Aaron for well over 10 years now. And so it's easy to forget to lose sight of the fact that she's a fun friend, and you guys have seen her on the show. She's fun, and she's a really good actress.
She really is good at it. Oh, wow.
She's just a really good
I did not
actress.
realize that.
And she's been in far more. Like it's staggering sometimes when I sit down and make a little list of all the things. It's like, oh my God, the stuff she's been in.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is truly, truly a terrific actress. So I'm
Really
glad
good.
you noticed that, man. Yeah, and her
That's very
that
cool.
one scene with Richard Dreyfuss is like really great.
And I went and ate tacos with her today.
She's also a wonderful mom too. Let's put that out.
She is also a
She's
wonderful
kicking ass
mom.
at that.
Wonderful
Yeah. Well, let's see how the kid turns
the
out.
baby's
Yeah.
still alive.
The kid's
is
still
16
alive.
years.
That's right. Which, let's face it, the odds weren't great. But as of today, little Tommy is still alive, so she's got to be doing something right. All right, what's next?
Al Renshaw says, Aaron reacted to Hardy the same way most women do.
Oh yeah, so I hey, listen, I put up our first short today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we actually edited like a 20-second spot from earlier today's show. We put up as a YouTube short of Aaron's
Are they
response.
monetizing shorts yet?
I think
Is
they're
that
starting this
February
month or something like
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
But I put up this thing and it's just her reaction when I said Tom Hardy and go, it was a really, really good.
That's
And by the way, you guys at home, let me know what you think about that. Like our plan right now, what we want to do is every day we're going to find one or two of the really funnier spots in the daily show and put it up as shorts throughout the week. So we'll have like 5, 6, or 7
That's a
shorts
great idea.
throughout the week. So we'll see if anybody watches them or if anybody cares about them. All right, what's next?
Miguel Zayan says, hey, Rob, I'm thinking of getting the Vader hot toy from the Obi-Wan show where half of his helmet is destroyed. It looks cool. Should I pre-order it? Miguel, the answer is yes. Yes,
You had a
should.
picture. There it is.
Look at that. Come on.
That is dope.
I have to say
That's a
that
great
Hot
figure.
Toys has done an extraordinarily good job with the Star Wars franchise. They've been making Star Wars Hot Toys for over 10 years now. This is a great, I love this.
And you know
It
what?
looks
As we were talking about this before the show started, as disappointing as I thought the Obi-Wan series ended up being overall, that finale, particularly the fight between Vader and Obi-Wan,
Yep.
that almost made the entire series worth it. That was so good. And that particular, that shot's very, very good.
It's very cool.
I like that figure.
The answer is yes, Miguel.
The answer is no.
Do it.
That's a lot of money. Plus, you don't get it till 2024.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But you can
ridiculous.
pay it off.
Yeah,
You can
it's
pay
a
it
little
off.
bit.
So it's set it, forget it.
That's right.
Or you could use money to pay bills you have today.
Or invest in Cineworld.
Or invest in Cineworld.
Wow.
For 3
Rob.
cents a share.
3 cents a share. You too can be
I
an
want
owner
to
in
see. I
Cineworld.
want to see where the market cap is.
You know what? I
tomorrow.
just wanted to look that right now. Okay, go ahead. What's next?
Well, this is nuts, Rob. You are a mind reader because look at what our next super chat is.
Al Renshaw says, I'm highly considering buying 1,000 shares of Cineworld stock. Good idea. You know what, Al? I think I'm going to do the same thing.
Well, I'll
And
tell you
there you
what.
go.
Here we go. Earlier today, when we did the John Campea Show, the price was 3 cents a share. Had you bought $1,000 at 3 cents, which would have been what, $3? No, $30.
Yeah.
$30. Yeah, that's 1,000. Yeah. You would have made
Money.
30%.
Wow.
You would have made 30%. So if you had spent $1 million on Cineworld stock this morning, you would be up $250,000 today. Right now.
Damn it. You mean,
4 hours later, you would be up. You literally would have made over $250,000 in profit.
it's at 4.5 cents now, John?
Yeah, it's gone
Can I
up.
borrow my...
Don't laugh. I'm thinking about going and buying some
I
stock.
know, we should all just do it. and we can make it our own John Campea meme stock.
Oh my God. John Campea Show was personally responsible for saving Cineworld.
Saving Cineworld. Come on, everybody. We'll all buy it, and tomorrow we'll jack up the price.
All right.
3.
What's next?
Sam Fisher says, I always wondered what it costs to put
In real life?
in real life personalities like local news anchors are putting like James Corden as himself in Yesterday. You know what? I've always wanted that too, to be honest. And I've always loved when they do that. You know, when they put CNN. I remember before
Well, I just watched Spirited, the Will Ferrell thing, and Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel's in there.
Yep.
I remember Blue Thunder, which is turning
Or Jimmy Fallon, I should say.
Jimmy Fallon. Blue Thunder's turning 40 years old this year, along with War Games, which I just got on 4K. Blue Thunder had Mario Machado in it, who later went on with Lisa Hart to be in RoboCop, playing like.
Oh, right,
And I
right.
was like,
Yep.
how was Mario Machado like big in LA in 1982 when they were making the movie? Like, I love when they do that. I don't know how much people get paid. I guess they would have to get paid SAG. They have to get paid SAG scale.
Not if you're not in SAG.
But I don't. Can you be in a movie like that with lines of dialogue?
You can with cameo. There's certain exceptions that
okay.
you can have. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to find out.
All right. What's next?
John Redcorn says, when will we get a proper Spider-Man versus Venom film, and will it be in the MCU or Sonyverse? Spidey versus Venom with both Toms make 1 billion easy. Agree?
Well, I mean, Tom's already had Venom solo films that have come close to 1 billion. The other Tom has already had a Spider-Man film go over 1 billion. So yeah, put them together could easily be. I don't think Sony will let Marvel use Venom. And right now, as far as we know, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is still in the MCU.
Yeah.
So I don't know when they're going to be able to do it. Sony's not going to allow there to be 2 Venoms out there. So there's that. That'll just eat into their franchise. So it might be a bit, and we might still be waiting for that for a bit. All right, what's next?
Daniel Vakura says, I'm completely with Rob on the Fablemans. It felt like something was missing. I didn't love it. I expected more from where it just didn't hit as hard. I agree with that. I mean, I wanted to love it more than I did.
I can't disagree more. To me, it was the best film of the year. I was enraptured with this movie from the very first shot. I felt like Steven Spielberg, that awe and wonder that this kid Steven Spielberg had with the movies. I was sitting there with awe and wonder, watching a simple story of a boy with a dream. And I absolutely loved it. To me, it was a perfect movie.
I liked it a lot.
To me, it was perfect.
And by the way, I have film reels like that still. Super 8 film reels.
All right, what's next?
The Sock sends in a super chat and says, if you had to show an Alien 3 movie that described the human... if you had to show an Alien 3 movies that describe the human experience, what would you show them?
Oh, God. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing, though. Like, these are the types of questions that people write in that unfortunately require some time to sit down and think about. I don't walk around that with it off the top of my head. So, I mean, I don't know.
I would say Alien, The Thing, and Close Encounters.
I might propose to you that's not a good representation of the human experience.
No.
I've got a good one, and it's not Shrek for once. There we go. Rat race.
Rat race.
That's how you show the human
It's
experience.
a race. I got to fill up on the pasta. I don't care what Amy says. I love that movie.
That movie's great. And you know who's in it?
Amy Smart.
Smash Mouth.
Oh, John Cleese's good Canadian kid, Dave Thomas, is also in it, is in that movie as well. I love this movie, actually. Wow. I love Rat Race. I think it's great. All right, what's next?
The Man with the Master Plan says, Happy New Year, John and team. Appreciate the content you uploaded during the break. Here's to a good 2023 for you, your team, and your family. Thank
you. So I appreciate that. Yeah, I did work a bunch of days during the break, but it had a lot of fun, and you know, it was. I had a lot of fun editing together our best, worst, and anticipated things. Those turned out well. I was really happy with that. So thank you for that. Thank you for watching our content during the break, man. I appreciate it very much. All right, what's next?
Logan Hoyne says, wild prediction. Avengers Secret Wars will end with a cliffhanger and a 7th Avengers film will come shortly after. That's a wild prediction.
Well, I think we already know that's not true.
Do we know that?
Yeah, like the release dates of those films are, we already know those are significantly far apart, and there's going to be other MCU movies in between them. So I doubt one will end on a big cliffhanger. Now, you could say, well, Infinity War ended on a cliffhanger. No, it didn't. Infinity War did not end on a cliffhanger. Infinity War ended. The bad guy won.
Yes.
Movie over. Then another movie came out that picked it up from there, where then this time the good guys won. But
5 years later.
So, I mean, I don't think Kang Dynasty will end on a cliffhanger. There might be unresolved issues, but I don't see it ending on a cliffhanger. That is then needs to be picked up in the next Avengers movie because it's too far apart and you're going to have other Avengers stories in between.
Well, and if they follow the Kang Dynasty storyline or Secret Wars at all, I think it's going to be a definitive closing off of the multiverse.
I really hope so.
Yeah.
I really hope so.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Daniel Vakura says, from yesterday, I'm surprised that Kenobi wasn't on either top 10 list and that Andor made it. I think that says a lot about the word of mouth with Andor.
I was very surprised about that, you know, because we saw She-Hulk up on that list. We saw Book of Boba Fett on that list did not see Obi-Wan. Despite the fact that so many people said everybody's watching Obi-Wan, it was great to see Andor on that. Again, I think Andor is easily the best Star Wars we've had on television. So I think it's even better than Mandalorian, even though it's a very, very different show than that. But I think it might be the single best Star Wars anything since the original trilogy.
It's pretty damn good.
It's right damn up there. So,
I agree.
Oh God, I love that show. I got to do a full rewatch of it. I got to do a full rewatch of it soon. All right, what's next?
Charlie Masters says, "Hey all, love the show for years and Happy New Year. What movie do you wish you could see again for the first time in a packed house?" That's a good question.
I'm gonna give. This is not my favorite movie of all time, but it's because the experience was so unique. I remember watching the first Avengers movie in a full theater, but it was a full theater with all press, jaded, cynical press, right? And this is why to this day I still think the first Avengers movie.
Was it at the El Capitan?
It was at the El Capitan.
I was there.
Were you there?
I was there with Schnepp and Amy Dallin.
Really? For the premiere?
Yeah.
The very first one?
Oh, not the premiere. We were there for the big first press screening.
Okay, so sorry, I mean for the first. Yeah, I was there for the first.
Yeah,
really?
We were sitting in the balcony.
That was really
yeah.
Because that was long before you started coming in for Heroes.
Right, but it was no, because I started on Heroes in 2015.
The first Avengers movie. What year did the first Avengers movie?
I thought you were talking about Infinity War.
No, the first Avengers movie.
I was thinking Infinity War. I'm sorry.
So the first Avengers movie, and sitting down with all these jaded, cynical film critics and film press and everything like that, and it was packed. And I had never before, and I never have since, seen a more excited audience ever than when that movie played. It was surreal. And I remember coming out of the theater, I was shaking. Like I was just like, because first of all, we had seen a Hulk that we have always wanted to see. Like when the Hulk is in that, I mean, it was the Hulk that everybody had always wanted to see. People lost their minds. Nobody thought that this Avengers movie could actually, number one, happen or couldn't possibly be that good. Because it's not cool to talk about Joss Whedon these days, but what Joss Whedon had achieved there is something we'd never really seen before. He took 6 main characters and made it feel like they all had equal time and equal attention, and it was all of their movies, right? And it just did it in such a way that was mind-blowing.
Yep.
And if I could go back and have that experience again, it would be pretty fun to do. Do you have one?
I have one. This is going to seem so strange. The most fun movie-going experience I ever had in my life was the opening night of Friday the 13th 3D.
Really?
And I think it was 1982. Dude, I went to, let's call it more of an urban theater, where I went and saw every slasher movie because the audiences were the best. But this audience was the best audience I have ever seen a horror movie with, ever. And it was in 3D. And the wisecracks and the things people were saying in the theater, it was so funny. And the audience was so into it. And literally, when it was over, people were so hyped that somebody tore off one of the doors from the auditorium that went into the lobby of the theater. It was absolutely bananas. And it was the most, I've never seen anything like that ever. And if I could go back and do that again, I would do it again. But John, there was a movie I wish I could have seen that I never, because I wasn't old enough. The Exorcist. I would give anything to go back in time and go see the first show of The Exorcist, like at the National Theater, which isn't here anymore.
If we're talking about being able to go back in time, I mean, you know what I'm going to say. Go to the Chinese Theater, Hollywood, 1977, and watch the debut of Star Wars. I mean, to be there would be incredible. All right, sorry, we're falling behind. Let's keep going here. What's next? I
didn't mean to be so verbose. CJ Rebirth says, curious if you guys have seen Paul Greengrass' United 93. It's my favorite Flight 93 related movie and a film I like to rewatch every couple of years.
Yeah, it was a movie that even then at the time, a lot of people were asking, is it too soon? It's a very good. I don't know how many movies there are in the Flight 93 genre.
Yeah.
It's a good movie, a heartbreaking movie, obviously.
It's a really well directed film.
It's a very well directed movie.
because you're tense the whole time because you know it's coming.
Yeah.
It's hardcore.
Very good film. All right, what's next?
Culture Wars Diplomacy says Chinatown is a classic.
Indeed.
I can't stand that movie. What's a classic you have an active distaste for? How come you can't stand Chinatown?
Blade Runner. Yeah,
Really?
I acknowledge it's a classic. I acknowledge it's one of the most important sci-fi films ever made, and I acknowledge that everybody loves it. And I wish I could lie and say, I love it too, everybody. I wish I could do that, but I can't. I've never liked the original Blade Runner. I much prefer Blade Runner 2049, but I can't lie. I didn't like it. What, do you have one?
The only thing that pops into my mind, it's not that much of a classic, but Jane Campion's The Piano with Holly Hunter and
Yep.
Harvey Keitel. Everyone, I hated that movie. I don't know why. I hated it. Like I hated the act of sitting there watching in a theater. Man, did I hate that movie. I don't know why. I've never tried to go. Maybe I'll watch it again one day and it won't be so bad. But
All right, what's next?
Dumbrodor says, love how the poster of The Flash's final season are golden boots.
I know.
They
Have
really
you seen
came
that?
full circle. Yeah,
See if you can pull that up. Yeah, there it is.
it's great.
Freaking golden boots, everybody. Ooh, that's what everybody's waiting for. Everybody's waiting for the golden boots. Nobody, like, newsflash, CW, nobody gives a shit what color the boots are. Okay, nobody gives a crap. This is a show that I have loved. I loved for a bunch of years, but this is a show that is about 2 to 3 years past its expiration date. I'll probably watch the finale, but other than that, I'm not going to watch any of the rest of the season.
They should have crossed over with The Walking Dead.
Yeah, maybe.
Two shows shambling to their ending.
All right, what's next?
Motassem says Bob Chapek as DC Universe's Lex Luthor.
So, make it happen. I'll be all for it. I would be all for it.
That would, hey, bring it on.
Listen, say what you want about Bob Chapek, and I've said a lot. That man can rock a beard.
He can rock a beard.
He can rock a beard better than I ever could
I'd
in my
love
life.
to see that.
All right, what's next?
Dumbrodor says the excitement of speculating who will be the Batman for the DC universe and its direction feels like 2013 all over again. San Diego Comic-Con announced a Batman versus Superman film.
Yeah, I remember all the speculation, and ain't none of it was Ben Affleck.
Nope. And people, the outcry.
Oh my God. And I still remember, man, that day, John Schnepp and I got online. We did the live stream like 15 minutes after the official announcement came out that Ben Affleck was going to be Batman. And we were like the only people going, this is going to be great. This is a great casting. And I still stand by that. He was a fabulous Batman. But yeah, I mean, listen, whenever you're going to get who is the new James Bond? Who is the new Batman? Who is the new Superman? These are always going to be the big ones. These are always going to be the ones that people always ask about and talk about and theorize about. And it's been that way since Michael Keaton played Batman and long before that when the James Bonds came in and out. It will be and it will continue to be until maybe this month James Gunn announces who the new Batman and Superman are going to be in the DCU. We'll find out. All right, what's next?
Love Daggerborn says, do you guys think we will see more of the Dan Brown movies like The Da Vinci Code?
They kind of petered out
Yeah.
and died. You know what?
They did like 3 of them.
Yeah, they did a number of them, and they didn't do great, especially the latter ones. One of the problems, I remember the first Da Vinci Code movie, was the first time I watched a movie, and I said, you know what? This is a movie that really suffered from sticking too closely to the source material. It became a great poster child about why you need adaptation. But yeah, the third one was kind of a mess. The one they got where Paul Bettany was like
Was that Angels and Demons?
I think it was either Angels and Demons or the other where he was like the albino dude. Yeah, that one wasn't great.
Great.
So I'm guessing no. All right, what's next?
Miguel Zan says, hey, Rob, have you read the Green Lantern Earth 1 stories? I would love to have some elements of it borrowed and influential to the films. Which comic runs should they borrow for Green Lantern? Well, I really like the Sinestro Corps War. Jeff Johns wrote a lot of Green Lantern stories, and I really liked his run on Green Lantern. And the Sinestro Corps War, I mean, maybe not Blackest Night, but that his run I would delve into. But the Green Lantern Earth or year, is it your Earth one? You mean like, so they that was pretty good. They were doing Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, and they did Green Lantern as that. It was kind of a reimagining of their origins and stuff, and they were good. I mean,
all right,
it was really good.
What's next?
Dumb Bro Door says John Campea is the wolf in Puss in Boots because they both hate cats.
Yep, damn cats. I was cheering for the wolf.
Oh,
Kill that cat.
no.
My favorite part of that movie is when it was part from the trailer where you see the cat die 8 times.
Oh my God.
So fantastic.
I gotta go.
Fantastic. I stood up in the theater. Yes, bravo. Bravo. Actually, I really like the movie. It's really good. All right, what's next?
King Daddy Goat says, hey guys, I checked out Behind the Mask, the story of Leslie Vernon, and man, thanks to that recommendation, appreciate all that you guys do. I love that movie.
And it's Behind the Mask, the rise of Leslie
the rise
Vernon.
of Leslie Vernon.
I seriously highly recommend this, especially if you are a fan of the horror genre. If you're a fan of the horror genre, this is a must-watch movie because you may think that the first Scream was a great dissection of the horror, a deconstruction of the horror genre and all that kind. You may think that. That's adorable. Leslie Vernon, the rise, Behind the Mask, the rise of Leslie Vernon is like the best movie I've ever seen do like a deconstruction, an examination of what the horror genre is, why the horror genre is important, the ridiculous side of the horror genre, and then brings it all to its own horror movie. It's wonderful. It's a cheap, low budget with some incredible cameos.
It's good.
Some absolutely incredible cameos. If you've not seen it, you owe it to yourself. Get a couple of buddies, get some adult drinks, sit down and watch Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. I'm glad you saw it, man. All right, what's next?
Jonathan Cahoon says, watch your Spider-Man No Way Home spoiler video, and you talked about a picture of someone in a mocap suit. Did you ever reveal who the picture was of?
Yes. So what happened was, like when I put out the pictures that I totally thought were fake at the time, but when I put out the pictures of like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire being in Spider-Man No Way Home, those weren't the only pictures I was given. I also had a few others. And I was getting ready to post the other ones too when I got a call and I found out those pictures, the first ones I posted were real. So I did not post those other pictures. And I just assumed that these other pictures were also from Spider-Man No Way Home. So I had showed the pictures to Rob, and then Rob and I go and see Spider-Man No Way Home, and we came out and we're like, did you notice those other pictures were not in that movie? And we're like, oh my God, what are those other pictures for? So I'll tell you what they were. They were for She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Because the other pictures I were in a courtroom because the picture was a little bit blurry, I could not tell it was Tatiana Maslany, although we made a guess it was Tatiana Maslany, in a mocap suit in a courtroom sitting across from Charlie Cox.
Yeah.
And again, we just assumed this was going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home, and then Spider-Man No Way Home came and went, and we're like, oh my God. Well, it looks like Daredevil's in the She-Hulk series then, because that's what this has got to be, right? It's got to be She-Hulk. And so we sat on that. We sat on that for a while and we didn't tell anybody about that. But yeah, then we were waiting. And I told everybody, listen, we will tell everybody what those other photos were once it happens. And then, so once that episode aired, then we told everybody those are the pictures. But yeah, I literally had those pictures sent to me a year and a half before the show ever came out. Like I was sitting on those pictures for like a year and a half. But I mean, seriously, since then, guys, you would not believe the pictures and the video. Pictures and video and clips that I no longer share with anybody at this point. Hell, there's entire things I've watched that I don't tell anybody about. I mean, it's crazy, but yeah, that particular instance was She-Hulk with Tatiana Maslany just in the mocap outfit sitting across from Charlie Cox. So that's the one we sat on for like a year and a half. All right, what's next?
Isaac says, guess I'm a 007 fan now, laugh out loud. Watched all 27 007 films last year, official and unofficial. What are your favorite and least favorite films of the series?
I still think Casino Royale is my favorite James Bond film of all time. Moonraker
I'm a big Moonraker fan.
Are you? That might be my least favorite one.
I understand why.
Her Majesty's Secret Service.
That's one of my favorites.
Is that one of your
One of
favorites?
my
too?
favorites. I understand why people don't like it.
I get that. Yeah. What about you?
I mean,
Favorite?
for me, it's Goldfinger. I'll give you my favorite Bond movies from each guy. Goldfinger, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Spy Who Loved Me, Living Daylights, GoldenEye, and Casino Royale. Those are my favorites of each Bond.
Least?
My least favorite Bond films are I hate A View to a Kill and I hate License to Kill.
All right.
I hate those two movies.
All right. What's next?
Diamonds Are Forever is a little rough too. Mochi Cat says Netflix K-drama recommendation, The Glory, a story about a woman's revenge on bullies that tormented her during high school. Oh, I'm all in on that. I haven't heard that before.
I find that when you mention there's a Korean film, I want to stop. If I stopped you and said, okay, is one of the main themes revenge? I have a feeling that 85% of the time I will have nailed it. There's a lot of revenge themed stuff in a lot of Korean cinema.
First of all, okay, here's my problem. My verisimilitude. I look at this woman who's spectacularly beautiful.
Yes,
Look
she
at
is.
that face.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous. Who would bully her in high school? I mean, they better like give her buck teeth.
Well, what did she look like in high school?
That's true. For your eventual destruction, for my eventual corruption. How do I not know about this show? I'm totally watching this show. This is awesome.
All right. What's next?
A. Marcellus says, John.
Oh, by the way, he sends in like a $20 super chat. Thank you, Marcellus.
I think this is going to be good. John, a genie grants your wish of a Steven Spielberg Star Wars movie.
All right.
But you must make a sacrifice. Watch the DC animated movies you don't like every day.
Ooh.
Catch up on eggs every week, or never have a new Tom Hanks movie ever again.
This is actually easy for me. Never have another Tom Hanks movie. And like, wait a minute, I thought you were a big Tom Hanks fan. I am, but you know what? I got an extensive Tom Hanks movie library. I think anything we get from Tom Hanks for the rest of his illustrious career is all gravy. It's just gravy. He has had such an incredible, prolific, and high quality in both drama and comedy. So I would say no more Tom Hanks movies. Not because I don't like him, it's because I love him and because he's already given us so much great stuff.
I can go with that. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right. What's next?
Poor Tom Hanks.
By the way, and thank you again, Marcel, for supporting us on that level, man. That's really generous of you.
Tom Hanks' agent's going to call you, dude. He's going to be
Oh,
pissed.
yeah, I'm
He's gonna
sure.
be pissed. Miguel Zayan says, Ray. Oh, Ray left.
Oh, Ray had to slip out.
Well,
he had to slip
I'll
out
ask
at
the
4.
question anyway. Ray, what's your favorite Jordan sneaks?
Oh,
if you could
it's
give
too bad he's not
each
here for
host
that.
a pair, which ones would you give each one to fit their personalities, or favorite color maybe?
Unfortunately, yeah, only Ray can answer. there's Ray.
Ray.
He had to leave by 4:00 today, so he slipped out a few minutes ago. And I am not being a sneaker guy myself. I can't possibly answer.
I
that.
couldn't either.
We'll have to just get him in to answer that question. Try to remember that question,
Okay.
Taylor, and we'll see if we can bring that up on tomorrow's show.
I'm gonna just take a picture of it really quickly.
He's literally taking a picture of it. All right, what's next?
Mr. Graham 91 says, I could see Luke Grimes with a clean shave and a cut could pull off Batman Bruce.
Who's Luke Grimes again?
I'm not sure.
I'll get a picture really quick.
Yeah,
Luke
I'll probably recognize.
Grimes.
It's like a country music singer's name, but watch, it's actually a country singer. Anyway.
Oh. Okay, hold on. It's coming.
That's
Here it comes. Who is Luke Grimes?
Are you ready for Oh no, it's so pixelated. Do you guys want to work on the next question while I get this picture up?
Sure. Let's go ahead.
Matt Sanders says, did you see that Paramount is getting sued for 1968's Romeo and Juliet over child abuse? What's the statute of limitations for that?
Okay. By the way, Matt sent in like a $20 super chat on that. Thank you so much for that, Matt. Appreciate the support. So I haven't read about this yet. I only just quickly heard about it earlier today.
I did too.
That apparently 2 of the actors in that 1968 movie, that I have not seen, by the way, not that I can recall.
Is it Franco Zeffirelli's Romeo and Juliet?
I don't know.
I've seen that.
I don't know, but apparently they were nude in it, and they were 14. So what I don't know is, number one, where was this movie made? I know it was made in 1968. were laws in these are all questions I have because I do not know the answer. Were there laws in place in the jurisdiction where said movie was made and all that kind of stuff that had those types of protection? Basically, at the time where they were, was it illegal for them to have kids nude? We know today what the answer to that is,
Right.
but I do not know if at the time where they made this, was it illegal at that time? And if it was not, and I don't know the answer to that, I don't know that they're going to get anywhere with this. I need to read the story more and get more information. This is all just me going off of, I heard the headline, which is never good to go on. But so I have to look into it.
I mean, whenever I hear cases like this, I always wonder, why did it take 54 years to bring a lawsuit like this against Paramount? I mean, there's nobody at Paramount that even remembers. There's nobody that can tell you what happened. And if it was Zeffirelli's movie, didn't they shot it in Europe, I think.
And yeah, and even then, a statute of limitations, like obviously the lawyer who brought it knows about the statute of limitations.
Right. Yeah.
So clearly there must be something. But again, I am simply saying all this having not even read the story.
Yeah, I don't even know.
So we'll have to wait and see. All right, did we get a picture of
Here
Luke
is
Grimes?
the grand reveal. You're going to be so pissed when you see this because you know who it is.
Oh, it's Casey from Yellowstone. Yeah. Great. I honestly, I've never known the actor's name.
Yeah.
Never known the actor's name. Him as I don't see him as Batman. I don't see him as Batman.
Yeah, I don't either. Although
But he's
I can
great
see
on the
he's
show.
a good-looking guy with he cut the mullet off. And
Yeah, he's great on the show. He's totally wonderful on the show. But I don't. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't see.
No,
that.
I don't see him as Batman. But hey, you never know. A lot of people have said they couldn't see Michael Keaton as Batman. So there you go. All right, what's next?
That's it.
Oh, that's it?
That's it?
Yeah.
All right, guys. And that'll do it for today's installment of Open Mic. Thank you so much for joining us today and allowing us to hang out with you for a part of the afternoon. Big special thank you to all you guys who sent in those super chats. Number one, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. But number two, you supported our channel as you did it, and all of us involved with the show. Thank you guys so very much for your support. Don't forget, guys, come on back and join us on the John Campea channel again tomorrow. We've got a new installment of the John Campea Show in the morning. Already got a couple of really cool stories we're going to be talking about on the John Campea Show in the morning. And of course, we're going to have another open mic in the afternoon. It's going to be another play and chat. Maybe we'll be playing some Marvel Lego or some, what's the name of the one?
Oh, Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
So
3.
maybe some Marvel Lego, maybe some Marvel Ultimate Alliance, maybe some Mario Party. I mean, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But come on back and join us for that as well again tomorrow. So for Robert Meyer Burnett, sitting back there running the show today was Taylor Gonzalez. My name's John Campea, guys. Thanks so much for being here. And until next time, my friends, bye-bye.